Hello guys, I wanted to give you an update since my last video some time passed. And if you remember, I was talking about the difficult times that I as an Airbnb host had since the incident of the Iran conflict and the implications that it had on my business. So we have currently 2nd of July, I believe. And a lot of things happened. We have summer, we have high season. I still have the same amount of properties, and a couple of things changed. So I was putting all my money into the business, as I mentioned last time, and it was barely enough to survive. So congratulations, we made it to my whole team. And in the moment where I actually had the least amount of money, I made the decision to hire somebody, to hire a manager, the position that has even a higher salary than my own, and the position that I was sure will take at least 1 or 2 more years' time to get back on my feet, and to have enough money, etc. But I made a decision. Instead of going in fear, instead of waiting until better times come to change something that I have in my own hands, I calculated, of course, a little bit. I didn't do that just blindly. I calculated and saw an opportunity. I could hire a manager, and this manager can help me to earn more money, together to grow, to help me with the operations, with the cleaning, with the maintenance issues, etc. And that's what I did. And 1st of June, I already hired somebody. I made a decision in the middle of May. Then I had a couple of interviews, and I found pretty quick the right person. I felt it was the right person, and I asked her if she wanted to work with us, and she said yes, she would love to. She was already experienced in this field, and what was more important to me, she had the right character, she had the right approach. I believe everybody who already hired a couple of people knows what I'm talking about, what kind of people you search, right? It's not the person who has on paper the best experience, the best resume, the best CV. It's the person that you believe can fulfill the role kind of with their heart, kind of with the passion, right? And she showed me that. And since day one, now we work together, and she already took over operations. All of a sudden, I have so much free time. I thought it would take 3 months to onboard her and to, improve things, etc. But I also realized, I don't need to focus on the minor things with her, like maybe in the warehouse to make it a little bit cleaner, etc. I focused on the main things. What do I earn money with my properties? What is the most important part as an Airbnb host that guests look to is the cleanliness, right? And the maintenance. So those things she focused on. Instantly she improved it, spoke to all the employees, all the cleaners, the maintenance person, the driver, laundry, etc. and is day to day with them. I knew I had to do that, but I didn't have the time. I have so many roles, so many different tasks as the CEO. So I did that despite having the money, but also figuring out a way how we can earn that money, right? So she has an incentive. She gets bonuses for growing with us. And now the month passed that was dedicated to operations, to cleaning, etc. And there's, of course, more to improve, but we have done the most things. 20% effort, 80% outcome. Right now we move on to growing. And I decided I make a big shift. 100% of my Airbnb apartments are arbitrage apartments. And I changed that now, and I want to have a focus on management apartments. Not only, but management on behalf of the client, on behalf of the owner, which means you take a commission, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30%, whatever number is yours. In our case, it's probably around 20%. And we do the business on behalf of the owner. That means I don't have any rent to pay, right? I don't have any furniture to pay for. Either it's already there or I can organize it and it's paid for, but it's not my money, not my equity. And I don't need to have year-long leases that, in crisis situations like we had now with the Iran conflict, still have the same amount of rent payments without having the same turnover. So I want to have a ratio of about 40% arbitrage, 40% management, and 20% of cleaning clients. We already have cleaning clients. They came in the beginning of the year, and they are also really nice. You don't have to manage that much. It's much less risk. And of course, when you don't have Airbnb arbitrage, when you don't rent apartments, you have less control. A client can be gone in a year. Maybe it's a client who has 5, 10, or 15 properties. But as fast as they can go, they can also come. And that's the big opportunity. That's the thing that we will focus on now. We will maybe start with 1 or 2 Airbnb arbitrage apartments, rent apartments, just to know the whole procedure. What am I looking for? I will take her with me, explain her everything. What are the prices? What are the locations, right? And we will learn by doing. She will learn by doing. That's the best way. She will do connections, make connections with people, with real estate agents, with owners, through platforms, online platforms, etc. But meet them in person. We already had some meetings. We started basically this week. And we will see how it goes. There's already the first apartment that looks interesting. We will view it in a couple of days. And then we will go from there. So that's the update. Apart from that, how's the situation? The tourists slowly got their confidence back. They come back. And we get more and more bookings, especially now since June since the summer started, for much less prices than we had last year. I don't know, like 20, 30%, I would say, still less booking prices, overnight prices. But that's okay, we will get through that. And we will reduce the risk by getting more management clients, especially over the winter. It's great because I still will make a profit without spending fixed costs on the rent. And that will level out my risks that I have with fully arbitrage. All right, that's that. I still think we have about maybe 10-15% less guests than last year this time across the whole island. And it will level out until the end of the year. So if there is no new crisis coming in, which in my place in Cyprus is very likely to happen, then we will, from next year on, grow again, etc., nationwide. And yeah, that's the update. That's me, that's us. And I also just decided to make a spontaneous video. The last one, I did so much effort in cutting, in making scripts, etc. I decided I will just find a way that I can make it faster and more direct, without a script, honest, what's going on right now. And yeah, that's the thing. All right, thanks for watching and see you in a bit.